Greetings, this is Russ Moody, and I've got a Warhammer battle report here. This is Orcs and Goblins versus Skaven, 4,000 points, and rolled up Battle for the Past scenario. So, first a bit of a struggle, as you can see, because when you've got a horde army like this, you just have to pretty much fit it onto the table. So then some things are placed backwards a little bit to prevent infiltrators and scouts from and setting up in the backfield. So going across, we'll do Skaven army first. We got some sensor bearers. There's a warp lightning cannon back there. Some night runners, doom wheel, unit of slaves, unit of rat ogres with a rat ogre bone breaker, a big horde of storm vermin with the Skaven brew, and behind that a block of about 70 clan rats with spears. Next to that, another slave block. There's some more fire throwers in there. And then on my right flank, his left, we've got some gutter runners, another doom wheel, a hell pit, and a huge unit of plague monks, and then some plague sensor bearers in the back. Orc army, we've got some spider riders. You can see that they've vanguarded already. Some black orcs. There's a chariot back there in reserve. We've got a horde of biggins and 4 trolls. Then we've got 20 boar boys with a level 4 shaman and a war boss, and a block of about 70 night goblins with a bunch of characters, and a Ragnarok. There you go. You can see the Ragnarok. We got 2 rock lobbers and a doom diver in the forest, another chariot, and some wolf riders that have vanguarded up. So starting off, orcs won first turn, so move things forward a little bit. That hill right there is it's an acropolis of heroes, so everything within 6 inches of that is going to be stubborn. So I tried to take advantage of that. And then you see the trolls move forward. They pass their stupidity test. But then what I did is, again, this is kind of a new list. I haven't used this many boar boys before, and I moved my general outside of the bubble. So for the rest of the game, those trolls are going to wander around and fail their stupidity tests. So something I'm going to have to remember in the future if I use something similar to this again. But you see everything else moved up towards that hill. And the plan here is pretty much to do a large flanking maneuver on the right and then sweep the Skaven off the table. Right there, Lucky Rock. Rock lands on the doom wheel and destroys it. And the hell pit zooms forward, I think, a lot farther than this game player wanted, and draws out all those fanatics. I think it was 5d6 strength 5s, and only got like 2 wounds through. Right here, the night runners charge into the spiders. They've got some bows, but I think they missed, so they didn't even kill anything on the stand and shoot. And the doom wheel, you see, moves that way. Right here, the rest of the Skaven, they just kind of move up, and you can see there the hell pit hasn't moved yet, I don't think, or either that or yeah. Oh, we already covered what the hell pit did. Anyway, okay. So right here, you can see that's a combination of the doom rocket. And I think, the warp lightning cannon killed some of those guys. It would have been worse. I did have the Iron Curse icon in there, so saved a couple of guys that way. And the night runners beat the spiders and run them off the table. So orc turn. I counter with the chariot to get rid of the gutter runners. The black orcs charge on into the doom wheel. Right here, everything else kind of moves up. The trolls stumble, and I think I failed animosity with the biggins. So those 2 units just kind of hang back, not because I wanted them to, but because of, yeah. And then over here on the right, I sent the war boss in to try and finish off the hell pit, and that turned out not to be the best idea, because I think I was thinking that the hell pit had terrible initiative. It doesn't. It's initiative 4. So. And right here, so they fight. And There you can see. Oh, this is the result of Hand of Gork, and I moved the big horde to compensate. And then I shot used the wolf riders and shot at the gutter runners and drove them back. They ran away, so that was a nice little bonus. I didn't have to deal with them. And over here, my war boss took 2 wounds. I did, I think, 2 wounds to the help it, and it failed its stubborn leadership test, and I failed to run it down. So things are as you see there. Right here, fighting against those slaves. And right here, the Doomwheel died. And the Skaven turn. The help it rallies. It turns around. The Censer Bearers go into the front of the Wolf Riders. And this horde ends up into the front of the Biggins. And I think they had hatred from the Skaven brew. Over here, Rat Ogres and Censer Bearers both hit the Black Orcs. And I think I should have thought this through a little bit better over here. I think I was counting on the spiders to be able to do some redirecting, but I didn't think that Night Runners would be able to beat the spiders, but apparently spiders suck. So, right here you can see a ton of Black Orcs have been removed. Huge casualties on both sides. Lots of models dead. And this picture you can see the Hell Pit, I believe, died. Wish I had a picture of it. Anyway, the Hell Pit, I sent the Ragnarok in. That's why you can't see the Hell Pit. The spiders fighting the Hell Pit. I sent my war boss into those Plague Monks. And over here, you can see I managed the Black Orcs held because they're stubborn on that hill. And then the chariot moves around to try and get in the flank. There. And there's still like 1 Censer Bear left. Over here, the rocks again were right on, and I managed to remove the Warp Lightning Cannon. Right here, you can see now this is what's left of the Black Orcs after that round. But since there's some of them left and they're on that hill, so they're stubborn, so they stick around. And the Night Goblins finally finished off those slaves, which is nice. And as you can see, my war boss is dead. He ended up in a challenge with the Plague Priest that was in there. And again, it's a question of Plague Priests. Again, war bosses really suffer from bad initiative, so I think I might have to revisit my war boss build. And for competitive reasons, you might want, if you're running a war boss, you might want to take an ASF weapon, because there seem to be lots of things that have better initiative. And here, the Hell Pit and the Ragnarok kill each other off, and the Hell Pit rolls a 6 and ends up with 2 wounds remaining. It ends up with anyway, it comes back to life with 2 wounds. So there it is. That is Skaven turn. The Warp Fire Thrower blows up, which was nice, and you can see my Biggins have overrun into the big block of clan rats. And over here, they finish off the Black Orcs, which was not a surprise. There's a Warlord with a Fellblade in there too, which doesn't help things. And then I sent the huge unit of Boar Boys right into the Hell Pit. They killed it again, and that dice is where the Hell Pit was. Then they overran into the Plague Monks, and this time a bunch of rats show up from the Hell Pit. So it's finally dead. And yeah, in case you're wondering, the Black Orcs had the Flaming Batter. So, and like I said, there was a bit of a problem with the deployment. Ideally, I would have liked to have waited to put my Black Orcs across from that Hell Pit, but the Hell Pit was put almost last. So, you know, that you do what you can do. And so I managed to get both my chariots here against these Rat Ogres, and that was probably the best way I could come up with to take them down. And here, you can see the Night Goblins join in against the Plague Monks. And there's 3 Night Goblin characters, so they're just going to go to town with those Boar Boys and finish off those Plague Monks. Right here, again, I managed to land a rock on some slaves, but they stick around. This is that's the dead Plague Priest. Killed him off with some Night Goblin heroes. And the chariots did some impact hits, killed some Rat Ogres, and then in turn, you see the Fellblade Warlord made way, killed the chariot. It was very easy to do, and the other chariot only had like 1 wound, so it was killed off there. And right here, the Biggins died to a bunch of spears from the rats. It didn't help that the spell was wither. I think they might have even been double withered. It was so they didn't last long against being like toughness 3 or 2. And right here, fighting against the plague monks. Eventually, I'm going to break them. And he sends his rat ogres into my river trolls. And these 2 units reform to face the fighting on the right. So my battle plan didn't work out so well. As you can see, he's still holding on the right while the rest of my army's been destroyed. So in a way, my flanking attack kind of worked, but not really. Did not work fast enough, so I'm gonna have to rethink what I'm. And part of it is, again, battle for the pass. I mean, I've designed this army to pretty much hold in the center and then crush an opponent on the flanks. And for the battle for the pass, you really can't. It really doesn't work for this scenario. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with this type of the way I've got my army set up to play this scenario a little bit better. Right here, the warlord goes in against the river trolls, and surprisingly, 2 wounds are done. The Fellblade, both of those regen saves were made, and so the Fellblade did nothing. Normally, I mean, it's possible for that warlord to remove the entire unit by himself, but he did not. He actually whiffed it, did nothing. So, right here, they go here and the plague monks break, but I don't run them down. And on my turn, I charge them again to get them off the table. I managed to land another rock here on these guys, whittle them down some. And right here, you can see the fighting continues. The river trolls managed to remove the rest of the rat ogres, but there's still that Fellblade warlord there. And as you can see, this time the Fellblade did some damage, and it took out pretty much 2 trolls. Right here, the night goblins just reformed to be deep to receive that charge. And the plague sensor bearer comes in to finish off the river trolls. And the clan rats charge into the, and that rat swarm charge into the night goblins. And these guys, just after killing the trolls, kind of turn around to look at things. And right here, one thing I did forget is that swarms, when you fight them, they pretty much they get stepped on, and I forgot about the fact that you also do additional damage to swarms for stepping on them. So I might that swarm probably should have been gone by after 1 round of combat, but. Anyway, and so all I do on my turn is I move the wheel and march my war boys up to block off those slaves from getting to the flank, give the night goblins some time. So as it is, they end up lasting 1 more round and lasting till just about so this is last final turn, round of combat. They finally do manage to beat those night goblins, and then they fail to chase them down. So in the final math, it ends up a tie for about 50 points in favor of the orcs and goblins. So if I could have found some way to maybe, I tried to kill the Gracier, but failed. If I could have, taken out, either that or if I just actually probably killed that Warlock Engineer that's in there, would have netted the necessary points to actually secure a win. But anyway, so it was a fun game, and hope you enjoyed the report.